Am I late or am I exactly on time? I guess is the question. So I'm doing this pod on a Friday as opposed to yesterday. Yesterday was my kid's last day of school, and it was the last day of my podcast hosting cycle. So there's like 30 days in every cycle, and you pay for the hosting for 30 days. And I only had 7 minutes left in my hosting for the month because I had 5 Thursdays in the month. So I had to postpone for exactly one day. And now I'm regretting like doing long form podcasting. So I think there's going to be some changes for the summer, maybe 2 episodes a week that are shorter. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, but for now, I just want to talk real quick about one big, beautiful piece of shit. Let's chat. I don't have all day, but I'm going to go ahead and do it right up front. Thank you for joining me on Trent Takes On 2.0. We're back again. Earlier this week, I did a podcast with my friend Brian Andrew, who does LA Clips Forum. It's a podcast about basketball, about our favorite team, the LA Clippers, which is, it's kind of a niche thing, I know. But it's distractions like that allow us to get through every day, I think. This week in the world, the United States House of Representatives passed their quote-unquote One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which is the actual name of it, which is fucking ridiculous. It's a new budget with the priorities of the current Republican Party and the regime in the White House. And in it, there are $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid. Let's start over. $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid. $500 billion in cuts to Medicare. Yeah, Medicare. $240 billion in Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP. It's food for young people, food for children. So, cuts to those programs that give Americans health care, give Americans who are either retired and on Medicare, cuts to them, cuts to people who are disabled in some way but still young, or cuts to Medicaid, which are young people who don't have access to healthcare otherwise. So it's got all them cuts. It has increases in military spending and in border security spending, because they can't deport people fast enough. And it also contains tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. $1 trillion in tax cuts to the top 1% of earners. People making over $2.5 million a year. So, they are going to steal health care from young people, from disabled people, from old people. They are going to take nutritional assistance, food, literally food, out of the mouths of the poorest Americans to give $1 trillion in tax cuts. And a whole bunch of other tax cuts for rich people and corporations as well. I like to point out this bill adds $5 trillion to the deficit, to the debt of the United States. We are going to be running at an extended deficit, and we are going to cut taxes for rich people. And you should be fucking outraged if you're listening to this podcast, because I'm positive that there isn't a single person making $2.5 million or more that listens to my ass. You've got better things to do with your time and money, apparently, than listen to shit like this. Fuck it, right? Fuck it. These are the priorities, okay? This is it. They've told you who they care about. They care about the rich people. They don't give a flying fuck about old people, young people, sick people, hurt people, poor people. They don't care about you. They don't care about any of you, not even a little bit. They could care less. They don't care about people who happen to be brown people. You know? We're going to deport you. They're deporting people. They deported American citizens already. Accidents, sometimes purposeful, sometimes they don't give a shit. This is who they are. This is what we're up against. Democrats are doing the best they can, but they don't have any power to stop them. The House passed this budget by one vote. One vote. One vote. It would have been nice if Jerry Connolly had survived the week. He could have voted against it. But no, the 75-year-old congressman died of throat cancer this week. His death marks the 6th congressperson who's died in office in the last 18 months. All 6 Democrats. All 6 well into their 70s, some in their 80s. I talk about generational problems from time to time. I'm part of Gen X. Our generation is the most fucked up generation there is. Why are we the most fucked up generation there is? Our parents were the boomers. Our parents were boomers. Our parents fucked us up. And they still are. Boomers are still in charge, baby. Boomers are still in charge. They never gave us the reins. And those who have gotten the reins are people as fucking twisted as Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, who has no moral compass beyond pretend to be religious, pretend to be Christian, and then sell out everyone for power. It's the least Christian thing you can do. But that's where we are. My generation is fucked up. My generation doesn't know what to do. My generation is broken. And therefore our kids are probably totally screwed. All because Mammy and Pappy refuse to turn over the keys to the country to their kids. They still haven't done it. And they never will. They're going to die in office, apparently. And it doesn't matter that now Gen X is so jaded and broken that they vote against their own interests. It doesn't matter that the world is so full of hatred and fear that that's all that matters to anyone anymore. See, that's a dealio, isn't it? Normally I'm pretty upbeat. Normally I'm pretty positive. Normally I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. I was told we can't talk about politics today by my mother-in-law. I really love my mother-in-law. She's a sweet lady. She doesn't want to talk about it because it's unpleasant. You know? And that I think that happens everywhere. I think that happens everywhere. All of our parents, all of our mother-in-laws, all of our families are saying we can't talk about politics. My question is this. If now isn't the time to talk about politics, when's it going to be? Because there's not going to be any politics soon. You think they're going to stop with taking away people's rights? This right to free speech? Right to due process? You think they're going to stop with that? Or do you think they're going to go further and go, your votes don't count because you voted Democrat? Your votes don't count because you didn't vote for the fascist continuation of the regime. You think they're going to stop? Or you think they're going to keep going? I think they're going to keep going. I think that every time they get a little tiny win, every time the window cracks open just a little bit further, they become more bold. They become more craven. They start to think that they can stay in power forever. And at this rate, they're right. There's a big protest coming up on June 14th, the same day as Trump's birthday parade that happens to coincide with the American Army's 250th military parade. And they're going to wrap it up together. They're going to do the birthday of the Army and the birthday of the President. Because it's 250 years of the U.S. Army. Okay, get back to me in a year. See what happens. You think he's going to sit through a $50-60 million military parade with tanks and soldiers and everybody saluting him for his birthday? You think he's going to go, that was great. I'm not going to do that again, though. Are you kidding me? Next year he's going to turn 80. Come on. We got to do a big birthday for 80, right? We're going to do it bigger, better. I'm at the point now where I can't even stand talking listening to him talk. I can't stand it. It makes me want to vomit. He's so stupid. The shit that he just did in the Oval Office with the South African president presenting a bunch of Facebook posts as proof that there's some sort of genocide in South Africa. It's like 6 people. The total number of farmers murdered was 12. Farmers and their families was 12, and some of them, at least some of them, were black. And that's the white genocide, baby. We talked about this last week. Oh boy. We're in trouble, guys. We're in trouble. Of the top 500 websites visited for news, 82% are far right leaning. 82% of searches online lead you to far right news. Not news anymore. It's not even news. It's just their slant on shit. Sometimes it's just outright lies. So we're in trouble, and we have to convey the news to each other and to others in the best way we can. Meanwhile, people are telling you we can't talk about politics because it's divisive. People are going to notice eventually. Your money doesn't go as far anymore. You're not going to be able to afford health care. Prices are going to skyrocket. Rich people are going to be fine, though. They're going to be hooked up. They're going to be hooked up. You want to know what causes crime to skyrocket? Starving people. Helplessness. I'm trying to be positive and upbeat, but this Friday, May 23rd, 2025 doesn't feel very upbeat. Even though it's the first day of my kid's summer. About to take him to the swimming pool. I'm going to do a short episode today, and then I'm going to come back and do one again on Monday next week. But I did want to talk about the big, beautiful pile of shit. I think that's what I said in the first. This is the priorities. Okay? It's simple. Every time I hear, Kamala Harris did worse with every group of voters, except for like married women. She did better by 1%. No. See, that's the thing. When you use percentages, you take the whole and then you divide the number by, the participant. What she failed to do was recapture the same number of raw votes. That's what happened. Trump didn't gain more votes. He lost some. He replaced them with low propensity voters. But what happened to the 10 million voters that showed up for Joe Biden that didn't show up for Kamala Harris? People stayed home. Why did they stay home? People of all shapes and sizes and colors and creeds and backgrounds and everybody stayed home. Why did they stay home? You know what the number one search on election day was last year? Just out of curiosity. Is Joe Biden running for president? On election day. The day you were supposed to go out and vote. The number one search was, is Joe Biden running for president? See, the failure was with the disengaged voters. The failure was with the people who, swing elections at the last second. That's what happened again this time. That's what happened again this time. People don't pay attention. And that's the thing. You're listening to this podcast. You pay attention. You are among the handful of people, apparently, that are paying attention all the time. If you're paying attention all the time, you're like, fuck, all of this is so obvious. And it is. It's obvious. Shit like the grift, like the $400 million plane that was given to us by the Qataris, which, by the way, if it were to be retrofitted to be used as an Air Force One, it's going to cost $1 billion to retrofit it. So he accepted a free plane that's going to cost him $1 billion to use. Think about that for a second. It also turns out he actually went to them and asked for it. They thought he was going to buy it. And then he was like, no, I don't want to buy it. I want you to give it to me. So he requested a bribe. Well, that's fabulous. How about the fact that he did that dinner last night for the top, however many it was, people who bought his meme coin. It's not even cryptocurrency. It's just meme coin. It's just an NFT. It's nothing. It's backed up by nothing. It has no actual value, except for the fact that it's a way to bribe the president of the United States. And he had dinner with the top 200 coin holders, meme coin holders. Estimated value to attend $1 million per person. Yeah. Brazen, open corruption. And they don't care. They don't care. It's the rich versus the poor going forward. And if you're on team poor like me, team do just surviving paycheck to paycheck, you better come to your senses. You better wake up. The oligarchy is in full swing, and they've used fascist rhetoric to get there. They turned us against each other. This was an old George Carlin bit. They make us fight each other so that they can keep running to the bank with all the money. He was right. He was right then, back in the 90s. He's right to this day, and the dude's been dead for a decade or more. I forget when George Carlin died. You should look that up. Things are dark, but they're always darkest before the dawn. That's true. And the big, beautiful pile of shit that they're trying to force us all to eat only passed the House. It still has to pass the Senate exactly as it is. Or if the Senate makes changes, it goes back to the House, where they're going to have to pass it again by one vote. Well, we'll see what happens. What I've discovered is that Republicans have no actual spine. They're basically a party entirely of jellyfish. Same brain, too, or lack thereof. They are just empty suits doing whatever the leader says. They claim that they care about things like fiscal responsibility, like the debt that they're leaving their kids. They claim that America is running at a deficit, and if you ran a business like this, it would go under. And then they voted for this big, beautiful pile of shit, which adds $5 trillion to our debt. Yep. Meanwhile, the president is still running around flexing his authoritarian muscle, just issuing whatever illegal proclamation he feels like doing because nobody's stopping him. In fact, he's ignoring court orders. He's just ignoring them. We are in a constitutional crisis, my friends. My friends, we are doomed unless people start finding their backbone. We'll see what happens. As for me, I'm going to keep protesting. I'm going to keep podcasting. I'm not going to be silent because, hey, rich people, fuck you. How about that? How about those two words? Bazinga! Wait, Sheldon used that to make, like he was making a joke. He was like, no, I'm serious. Hey, rich people. Ridiculous. This is our country. Built by the broken backs of the working class. 250 years of the working class fighting wars. Building this country. Paving its roads. Feeding its citizens. For what? So the rich can take all the money. And we get early graves. I've been listening to a little bit of Dropkick Murphys recently. That's the dealio, right? Wake up. Now is the time to talk politics. Sorry, Mom. Now is the time for the uncomfortable discussion with your poppy and mommy and puppy about the fact that there's $500 billion worth of Medicare cuts. Not Medicaid cuts, Medicare cuts coming. Medicaid cuts, that's $880 billion. See, what's going to happen is all the rural hospitals that require or that rely on Medicaid patients aren't going to have Medicaid patients anymore, and they're going to lose. The rural hospitals are going to go away. Bye-bye, rural hospitals. All those small town hospitals, they're going away. And if you live in, like Oklahoma, you're going to be going to 2-3 hospitals at the most. Lawton, Oklahoma City, Tulsa. I use this because I used to live there. All those rural hospitals are going to close, and you're going to be forced to go to those other 3 hospitals. And guess what happens in the traffic of those other 3 hospitals? It skyrockets. So what about your level of care in those hospitals? Plummets. That's how it works, baby. Also, it's going to be a hell of a lot more expensive. But you voted for this, right? You voted for this. Right? Or did you? Did you get sold a bill of goods that wasn't real? Kid interruption. Probably won't be the last one of the summer. I love her to death. She's the sun in my... They are the sun in my sky. They are my raison d'etre. And I am failing them because I am failing to deliver a world that they will be able to find success in. On that humbling note, if you're paying attention, if you are in the know, they're not hiding any of the shit that they're doing. It's all out in the open. It's just about a matter of decoding what they're doing. Hurting poor people, hurting old people, hurting children, hurting disabled people. That's what they're doing. Hurting small businesses. Hurting rural America, ironically. The place that votes for them the most consistently. They got your votes. They got their votes. You remember back during the campaign when he said, you just vote for me the one time and that's all you'll need to do. Think about how ominous that sounds now. Think about how ominous that sounds now. One big beautiful pile of shit. Hope they stop it. Until next time, I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. To quote Brian Andrew, my friend, you could be doing anything with your time, and you're choosing to spend it with me, and I appreciate that. So thank you so very, very much. I'll be back with you on a Monday. It's a holiday, Memorial Day, but I'm going to take 30 minutes out of my day, and I'm going to record something for you. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. God bless. Be good to each other. Be good humans. It's the least we can do. Love you.